Hey everybody, Abe here from CMF HQ in Decatur, Georgia for the next installment of CMF Tips and Tricks. This week we're going to be focusing on what we think is the best solution for transferring footage from a DSLR still camera to Final Cut Pro. A lot of the filmmakers nowadays are using Canon DSLRs, the 5D, the 7D, the 60D, and a lot of them are having issues in the editing stage because they're not transcoding their footage before getting it into Final Cut. So what we're going to do here is show you how to get that done. So the first step in this process, since Final Cut doesn't natively let you log and transfer footage from a Canon DSLR into Final Cut, is to download Canon's movie plugin for their DSLRs, the 5D, 7D, and 60D. And to do that, the quickest thing we do is we just go to Google and we type in Canon DSLR plugin Final Cut Pro. It's the first link that comes up, so we'll click that. It'll take you to the URL, which we'll put on the screen, which is http://www.usa.canon.com/dlc/controller?act equals see, it's a stupid URL, so just type it into Google and it'll pull it up and it'll be the first link. So it takes us to the movie plugin page for Final Cut. It's really kind of, I don't want to say confusing, but you have to scroll way far down to the very bottom under availability, and under the availability section there'll be a paragraph, and in that first paragraph there's this link that has a hyperlink connected to it. So we'll click on that, and that will take us to the 5D Mark II product page on Canon.com, and from there we can just go down to drivers and software and click, and then from below there we'll want to select our OS, so we'll select Mac OS X. And then you'll have to do a little searching down below. There's a whole bunch of different plugins and firmware updates and all that. But what we were looking for is, again, the plugin for Final Cut Pro. So once you find that, it's the CE1110X.dmg. And we'll click that. That will take us to a software agreement, which we click that we agree, and to begin the download. Then it'll download there to your downloads folder on your Mac, and it'll pop up in a window with the installer. So once the installer is appeared, then you can just double click on the installer. It'll ask you if you want to use this app because it was downloaded from the internet. You just click open, and then the app will open. You'll want to click the USA, Canada, and South America button. And then you're just going to go down and click that you agree with all the terms and conditions. It'll install, and once it's completely installed, it'll say that it's good to go, and you can just click finish. So pretty simple. Now that you've installed the Canon plugin for Final Cut, all you need to do is get the footage from the camera to the computer. To do that in the most efficient way, we recommend purchasing a compact flash card reader. We have one that's FireWire 800 compatible here. It mounts really quickly. It doesn't have the lag that if you were just to connect the DSLR via USB to the computer that would have, and the transfers are pretty smooth. Again, just connect your compact flash card reader. Then you'll want to go and navigate in Final Cut up to the File menu. Go down to Log and Transfer, which is also Shift Apple 8, and it'll bring up the Log and Transfer window. If the compact flash card is already mounted, it'll automatically appear in the Log and Transfer window, and you'll get to see a list of all the different shots you have on that card. You can also preview the image on the video on the right side. There's a scrubber where you can just scrub back and forth on that as well. Down below the viewer, there's also a place where you can label the footage and log it however you might see fit. Now what you want to do is just, this is usually something you only have to do the first time you set up the plugin, but if you go up here to the little preferences cogwheel, go down to the preferences, it'll pull up this window of import preferences, and you'll just want to scroll down to the Canon E1 plugin, and to the right under the target format, you'll be able to select which codec you want to transcode your footage. You have a whole bunch of ProRes formats as well as Apple Intermediate codec. So you select whichever one you want, then click OK. Then all you have to do is find the shot that you want up in the browser area, and then just drag it down to the lower block where it says Drag Media Here. Once you release the clip, it'll automatically start transcoding, and once the transcode is done, it'll save it to your browser in Final Cut where you can use the clip in your movie. If it's the first time you're doing this and you're dragging that footage into a new sequence, remember to click the yes to auto format the sequence to the same specs as your footage, so you don't have to worry about rendering or any lag time, and Final Cut will be able to do everything in real time for you. Now, some of you might be asking, why can't I just import my footage through iPhoto or something like that and then put it in Final Cut, because that works. Well, the thing is that the DSLRs that Canon make record to basically an exhibition format. They encode into compressed H.264, and that's a very math-heavy compressed format and takes a lot of work for the computer to decode what's going on. So when you throw that footage into Final Cut, it'll play in a sequence, but you'll experience a lot of lag time, you'll experience a lot of rendering for little things like titles and all that, and it'll just make the whole process a lot smoother to get that footage out of H.264 and into a full native video codec. Along those same lines, you'll get to keep a lot of the metadata that's tagged on each video clip on the camera that you lose through any other means. So you'll get the start time, the end time, the full duration. You get a lot of that data that you lose because that data is stored in other files that Final Cut can't access without the plugin. So there you have it. Now you can edit all the footage you shoot on your Canon DSLR in Final Cut, very smooth, seamlessly, just like it was shot on any other format that Final Cut natively accepts. So good luck, shoot all that awesome footage, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.